Hey guys, BileJ here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you an Infernoid deck profile. This is honestly one of my passion projects as far as Yu-Gi-Oh goes. I've been playing this deck for like 10 years, and I've gotten my invite to nationals with it at a regional. I've topped locals with it many times. I just love this deck. I'm going to be showing you the most recent version of it today. So, let's get things started. First up, I'm playing 3 copies of Deviati. This card's pretty awesome. And honestly, probably a staple at 3 copies. Mostly because you're going to want to use it as fusion material for your Tiara, as well as using it as a send for your Decatron. If you're an Infernoid enthusiast like me, you already know that, obviously. But yeah, the third one comes up constantly. 2 copies of Anunku is your spell and trap negate, so monster negate, spell and trap negate. And these guys are just your big boss units. They take 3 banish to summon though, so it's kind of a big cost. Then for the little names, I'm going to do 2 Sightsmiss, mostly because he's the best one as far as the effect goes for the 2 tribute monsters, or 2 banish monsters. For the one-ofs, Atandel, Sageit, and Piety. These 2 are just levels and names. Atandel gets a second attack during the battle phase when he destroys a monster and he banishes a card on the field. So these are going to be your large Infernoids. I play 10 of them in total. They're pretty sweet. Honestly, every guy is useful, especially because of the trap card that I play. This guy is particularly useful. And honestly, them just having different names is also useful for other card effects in the deck. I'll get to in a second. So, next up, 1 Petrulia and then 2 Harmodic. So, Petrulia destroys a spell and trap, and Harmodic destroys monsters. They give up their attack for the turn when they do so, though. Antra can bounce a face-up card on the field. Pretty sweet. And then for the level 1 magnificent baby himself, Decatron. So Decatron can just send any guy to gain the name, gain the level, and the effect, but stay the same attack and defense. He's also a tuner. Even though Infernoids don't have a synchro monster, still gives you access to Omega in my particular build. Yep. The guys have a summoning condition to be under level 9, so you have to, or under level 8, right? So if you have a level 8 monster, you can no longer summon Infernoid monsters using their own summoning conditions, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. For the spell lineup, I have, well, I guess for the engine, right, for more of the engine cards, I have 3 Void Vanishment. This is your search card, but it locks you into Infernoid monsters. Then I play 2 of the fusion card, Void Imagination. It works kind of like a Shadal fusion. If your opponent controls an extra deck guy, you can just use materials from your deck, but you can use up to 6 of them, so that's very neat when you're summoning Tiara. For the other cards, for the engine, we got Reignition. This is like the kind of like a card destruction type ability, and then it allows you to refill your graveyard, I believe is how this one works. Oh yeah, target up to 11 of your banished guys and return them to the graveyard. 2 copies of this just because the new card, which right now, Unleashing. You can remove this card from the graveyard to add any one of your Infernoid monsters from your deck to your hand, or graveyard, technically. So it's never been easier to grab Decatron, you know what I'm saying? And then Void Breach for our final Void spell. This card just adds one of your guys from your banish to your hand, or lets you special summon one of your guys, as well as giving you a continuous power bonus for each of your Infernoid monsters that's banished. And then for the last of the Void cards, Void Feast, send a Void Speller Trap from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard to special summon 3 Infernoid monsters from your deck, whose total level equals 8, ignoring their summoning conditions. Funny story, one time at a regional, I set I I think it was like a Void Vanishment and a Void Feast. And just so I didn't give my opponent knowledge, not realizing that it's that face-up card on the field. And I was like, I activate my Void Feast and send my Void Vanishment to the graveyard. And then my opponent read it and was like, that was me face up on my field. Didn't you have that card set? And I was like, oh shit, I had that card set. Damn it. No, I misplayed. Fuck. But it mattered the most. But then at the next regional, I didn't do that and I topped and I was happy. Okay, but anyways, that doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. So, yep, those are the Void spells and traps. Next, Instant Fusion, Dark Fusion, ×2. So these cards are just like engine cards, but they're not in archetype. So the Dark Fusion and Instant Fusion are pretty much solely for the copies of Infernoid Evil in the extra deck, who's a really sweet fusion monster that I will get to in a second. But yeah, since it's a game piece, like it's a big part of the game plan now, Dark Fusion lets you get the guy out, and it gives it a little bit of protection for the turn, because it can't be targeted with card effects, like Imperm. And then Instant Fusion, pretty cool, because it just gets the guy out without a cost. Well, I guess 1,000 life points is a cost, but not really. Then I play 1 Reasoning and 1 Monster Gate. These are just like the bread and butter of like old school Infernoids, and I know a lot of people probably don't really like these cards in Infernoid now, but I like these cards in Infernoid, so I'm gonna play them. Especially because this card combos really well with the Layer of Darkness, and it's not really like an engine card, but it is an engine card, because this, even though it's kind of like a win more in some scenarios, it also applies a lot of pressure on your opponent over multiple turns, because while you're in the Layer of Darkness, you contribute your opponent's monster since everything is dark, so you contribute them for Monster Gate or any of the Infernoid quick effects. Then you special summon dark tokens to the field, and if you are under the Wand of Lock with the Void Vanishment, then you can't summon them to your field, so you don't get clogged up on your board. Which sometimes you want to be clogged up on your board because you can distribute them later for little costs and stuff, but yeah, good to know. Summons tokens, tribute your opponent's stuff, it's pretty sweet. And then this guy is really funny with the Reasoning, because your opponent could call 1 and you could hit the 4 or whatever, and it's pretty sweet. Or you could discard this and grab the Layer, so pretty cool. So yep, those are the last of the like engine but not in archetype. Then for generic cards, I got Prosperity for, you know, consistency, Called by the Grave, and Triple Tactics Talents for getting interrupted on my turn. And then for, usually I actually don't use these during the opponent's turn, I usually hold them for my main phase, because my deck is really strong at breaking boards. So typically, if I open an Imperm, I'll either save it for a keep moment on my opponent's turn where I know it'll shut down something like spectacular from happening, and I'm like, yo, that was the best thing ever, I'm so glad I didn't let you do that. Or I'll hold it in my hand and I'll like try to use it to break the board, which is, in this deck, it's so effective. Like, this deck can clear boards like nothing. So I play triple Imperm because it's like the best board breaking assist card ever. Yep, so that's the main deck. It's literally just these 6 non-engine cards, and like the deck is, it plays so fun. Like, I love the way the deck plays. I guess I'll do the extra deck first here. So for fusions, we're doing 1 Tierra and then 2 Evil. So on summon, it's send 3, mill 3. Typically you're going to be sending Intis and Omega. So for the other fusions, I just play 2 Intis. Pop a card when it's sent to the graveyard. Infernoid Evil, when he's special summoned, you can banish an Infernoid monster from the graveyard and then send different names from your deck to the graveyard equal to the level of the guy banished for the effect. So if you just do like a Harmadic, you're sending 3 different guys, or Sightsamis, you're doing 7. But you have to make sure you have enough guys with the name, because you have to send enough to the... you have to send cards from the deck to the graveyard equal to the banished monster's level, not equal or less. So keep that in mind. It has to be the same as the guy you banish. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, I can add an Infernoid spell or trap from my deck to the hand. So obviously just getting to tutor any spell or trap is phenomenal, and each effect can be used once per turn, so you don't have to choose between the two. Alrighty, here we go. That's all the fusions. For links, we're going to do one Anima for that Decatron in case he doesn't get to set his guy. One Hita, the Fire Charmer Ablaze. One Doolittle Chimera. One DR, the Dark Charmer Gloomy. Do IP, Masquerena, Nightmare Phoenix, a Nightmare Unicorn. So I guess this is a good spot to stop. So like these are pretty much all generic cards. These matter kind of because they're fire. This guy matters because sometimes everything gets turned to dark. This guy matters because sometimes your Decatron gets negated and your Infernoid Evil is a level 1. IP is obviously good to go into cards like Unicorn and Phoenix during the opponent's turn, though realistically I could technically probably just put in an SP in place of one of these and it'd be like equally good as far as like less commitment from monsters and blah blah blah, but I don't know, I like IP into these guys. It's just nostalgic and it feels good. So yep, those are like the low rank guys, if you will. For my high rank guys, the guys that actually matter in my opinion, are Infernoid Flood and the Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. So she's gonna let you grab your Decatron and place it right underneath it. Boop. Actually, I guess I don't know if necessarily. I think it just summons it to the field in defense mode or something like that. But anyways, you're just gonna grab this guy, boop, summon it to the field, summon your Decatron underneath or whatever, and then link them together and into an Infernoid Flood. And she's pretty easy to get to because she just requires 2 effect monsters. And that's like ridiculously easy to get to in this deck because it's just like a monster spam deck kind of. And then this guy has 3 abilities and 3,000 attack points. So once you get Flood out, you're pretty good. When your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you contribute a monster, negate the effect, and if you do, banish that monster or monsters. Pretty good removal. If a card is banished from your graveyard, except during the damage step, banish a card on the field. Pretty good removal. If this link summoned card is destroyed by the opponent's card, special summon 1 Infernoid monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. So that's all your guys. So like decent like interruption or whatever, decent removal, and it replaces itself. I like things about this card. I do. So he's kind of like the end board, and usually if you're getting to him, you're winning the game, but you have to combo off first to do that, and then one of my, I forgot about him, but yeah, he's in the extra deck too, just in case you want to synchro with Decatron, like, you know, summon Decatron, pitch Petrulia, pop a spell or trap, special summon Harmodic from hand, pop a monster, then use both of them to make Omega, and then you can get a hand rip or whatever. So, or you can return your things to the graveyard from the banish. But now we have a spell card that does that, so whatever. Pretty cool. So that's all from the main and extra. For the side, I'm doing 3 Lava Golem. Oh, nope, maybe I lied. I was doing 3 Lava Golem at one point, but I guess I could have done it too. Probably put the second Petrulia in the side deck. Right. So yeah, 2 Lava Golem and 1 Petrulia. Remove spell and traps, and I only have 1 normal summon in this deck, so the Lava Golem is pretty useful for being removal going second, and I love going second. For spells inside, I'm doing Mistaken Arrest. This card is just so nasty against certain decks. Stop them, or yeah, neither player can add cards from the deck to the hand, and brutal. I like effects that don't let my opponent go too crazy, so yeah, definitely a cool card. Void Imagination. I actually moved this guy to the side deck so I could put Dark Fusion and other cards in, because this card actually has a requirement, and if I somehow don't, like, I already have 2 in the main deck, so if I need the third one going second against a deck that I know will play cards from the extra deck during their turn 1, this is definitely coming in. But if I don't know for sure in game 1, you know, I was thinking, let's try Dark Fusion and see how a more, like, guaranteed fusion play goes. So yeah, we're trying things out. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Anyways, Triple Tactics Thrust, just to, you know, grab the powerful one-of cards, like Harpy's Feather Duster, for instance, or my Lightning Storm. It's like off camera. I actually can't see the camera screen, but that's all good. It's all good. So yeah, Satan Rest, One Imagination, Talon, or Thrust, Duster, Lightning Storm. Evenly matched, pretty good board breaker in my opinion, especially if you draw into like Prosperity or whatever, because then it doesn't matter if you don't get that battle phase damage. Void Feast, just the second one for if you think you're gonna go first against, like, you know, if you're going against a going first deck, it just really helps to build a board. I think technically these are banned, so you could just replace Dimension Barrier with whatever you want. Pretty sure it's banned now. I haven't really played much IRL Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently, I guess. Different Dimension Ground, just a powerful one-of Skill Drain. Again, I think it's not banned, but I don't know. I don't really follow Yu-Gi-Oh! That much. Plus it's the side deck, bro. Whatever. It can always change. But just to give you an idea of what you could be siding. But yeah. I absolutely love the Infernoid deck. I love how little non-engine you... No, I guess you don't necessarily have to play these cards, but I'd say Imperm is kind of like a staple card. And as long as called by the Graves in the format, even though every card in your deck is a DD Crow almost, like, it's still pretty worth to play it. A lot of people are sleeping on the Layer of Darkness build. I think it's super nasty for those long grindy games where, like, you want to go second and then you're probably not going to kill your opponent, so you need things that are going to keep you applying pressure during both players' turns all the time, because a lot of your guys are quick effects, so you're like, I'm always threatening banish or tribute one of your guys to banish something from your graveyard, tribute one of your guys to banish one of your monsters that activate their effects. It's pretty crazy. It's like the mind game of being in the Layer of Darkness is really hard for your opponent in some situations, and I like that mind game. Basic generic cards, fusions, and then all engine, baby. All engine. And I love that about this deck. It plays boss monsters in the main deck, and it has a ton of engine cards. Everything is searchable. Everything flows together nicely. And you have a really powerful trap card in Archetype. How fun is that? Anyways, thanks for checking out the vid, guys. Infernoid's rule. You know how it goes. And always, violence rules.